Cities have always attracted people from far and wide. It's not difficult to understand why. Economic opportunities, access to livelihood, amenities and services. There are more reasons than one could possibly count. But every city has two cities within it. This other city is steeped in scarcity, sometimes totally mismanaged and almost always a bubbling cauldron of seething anger and teeming frustration. This other city is always living on the edges. The citizens of this city have little faith on urban governance. They feel underserved, neglected and sidelined, and thus even the best intended efforts to make them belong to the mainstream falls flat. The Society of Participatory Research in Asia, or RIA, understands the critical importance of participatory governance to strengthen democratic systems. Supported by UNDEF, PRIP Trust in Bangladesh and Silaka in Cambodia, has recently concluded of an initiative deepening local democratic governance through social accountability in Asia. To start with, it's important to accept the premise: citizen participation in governance leads to an active democracy. Next comes the realization that this process will not happen automatically. Decades of disconnect has stilted citizens' urge to engage. Sometimes, like in Cambodia, this turns them into silent and passive spectators. In yet other times, like in Bangladesh, they turn into indifference, often without understanding the causes of their predicament. Partnering with the governance for the betterment of everyone is not an option that will come naturally to them. This has to be inculcated. So then, what are the factors that lead to effective citizen participation? Our learning reveals that it depends on the participatory spaces institutionally provided to citizens and the motivation and interest among the citizens to engage actively for their own good. These spaces need to be created. Participation needs to be institutionalized on both sides of governance, that is, the state and the citizens. Develop among citizens collective understanding, analytical skills, the ability to organize into community-based groups, and also the capacity to negotiate and interact with relevant stakeholders. The first and foremost strategy, therefore, is to help create an enabling environment for citizens to participate. In Bangladesh and Cambodia, this was achieved through a range of activities. The process began with organizing regular meetings and dialogues with citizens, followed by citywide campaigns and public forums explaining the processes involved in the initiative and the role of citizens. Media was involved right from the beginning, spreading the message along with event reportage. Soon enough, citizen leaders were identified, mainly from active women and youth. Trainings for them were conducted through a combination of structured capacity-building classes and exposure visits to India. Neighborhood committees were also trained on social accountability and community monitoring through workshops. Along with trainings, citizens were encouraged to practically apply their knowledge through learning by doing, involving them in different stages of the intervention, preparing citizen report cards, participating in group discussions and household surveys, engaging in the data collection and community monitoring on a regular basis. As we found out, in countries like Bangladesh and Cambodia, efforts need to be put in both the demand and the supply side of public service delivery. Only then things start moving. The final phase is, of course, when the interface dialogues start between the citizens and local authorities. This reflects an improved and much desired citizen-state relationship. In both Bangladesh and Cambodia, it wasn't a common practice for elected or municipal authorities to come face to face with the citizens. When that challenge was taken care of, it became all smooth sailing. organize orientation sessions for state representatives who felt threatened and citizen leaders who felt apprehensive about sharing their views. Inform all stakeholders in advance so that they come prepared. And most could be obtained out of their interface. Regularly follow up on the decisions taken on these meetings. Learning from our experience on the job, we believe change has a cyclical nature in these kinds of interventions. Organized citizens groups and civil society are in a better position to identify issues, challenges, and gaps in the system of governance. This leads to an increased demand for better delivery of services at the local level, in this case, services like water, sanitation, education, health, etc. With this increased demand, municipal authorities open up and share relevant information with citizens. Gradually, this leads to adoption of social accountability mechanisms like citizen charters, information disclosure, and grievance redressal systems by the municipalities. With the adoption of social accountability mechanisms or SAMs, municipalities respond better towards citizens' needs and improve their performance and service delivery. Once these lessons are shared with other actors, they lead to changes in policy and practice. The initiative by Priya and its partners has started showing some movements in the positive direction. Remarkable improvements in awareness and capacities of citizens. Slowly but surely, spaces for citizen participation are emerging. A greater interface between citizen groups and state institutions is paving the way for a more active democracy. State responsiveness and quality of service has also improved. All in all, the project has proved beyond doubt that active citizen participation can bring about positive changes. All one needs to do are, in a nutshell, derive and work on a strategy to build capacities of citizens, design need-based interventions based on the local contexts, work towards influencing policies to bring about local level changes, work as a consortium, taking all stakeholders together, engage the civil society organizations and encourage them to play the role of catalysts between citizens and governance. For a nation to grow to its full potential, cities have to grow in an equitable and inclusive manner. And for that, citizens have to engage themselves in the process of governance, and the governance has to build the will to listen to them. There are no two ways about that. With more and more people opting for urban lives, the sooner this is understood and brought into practice, the better. Lessons learned from India, Bangladesh and Cambodia can be replicated in other Asian cities with similar citizen mindsets and similar geopolitical backdrops. The sooner that starts, the better.